Hello everyone, it is the me, GamePenguin21, and today we're going to be looking at some more Salt from a smaller channel, but we're going to be looking at this one. I know that I basically did that whole tweet dump a video or two back, and, well, this one is actually on a smaller channel, one that I actually found because I was looking up the Xbox Showcase Salt, and this one was one of the smaller videos, and I think that this one's probably the most salty out of all of them. So we're going to look at this one today, and don't worry, there will be more videos about the salt for this soon, but this is one of the ones that's just really interesting. So let's get started.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
I am so glad that I tamed my expectations for the showcase because it was extremely mid, just like the PlayStation Showcase previously. Now, of course, much like with the PlayStation Showcase, there were a few hand-picked select titles that I am interested in playing. However, the overall press conference was completely terrible. Again, just like Sony's press conference, Xbox had a bunch of CGI / in-game cutscenes with no actual gameplay, aside from maybe a few titles here and there.
No. I mean, there were definitely several titles they did have the in-game cutscenes or stuff like that. But there was only one actual full CGI trailer, and that was from, if I remember correctly, Ubisoft with Star Wars Outlaws, if I remember my amount correctly. And that just, didn't make any sense. But they did say beforehand, yeah, we're not going to have any CGI trailers, but some of our stuff is going to be in-engine stuff, in-engine trailers, and there will be some gameplay. And there was a fair amount of gameplay for a lot of these games, from what I remember. I don't remember the specific games that were revealed, but I know Starfield definitely got a lot of gameplay out there. I think Avowed might have, unsure, but Fable didn't. There was a lot of them that were just eh. But overall, I say that they did really well, and in my opinion, it's actually more of a 9 out of 10 and not actually that mid. But to each their own.
Only gameplay that I've seen really is Forza, and that's the only game that had a release date, which is October 10th, so I guess we'll be playing Forza this year, because that's the only game that's dropping. And that's the problem, is that every game that you saw in this press conference, you gotta wait another year. So we're still waiting for games to drop. It's extremely mid, a bunch of indies, CGI cutscene trailers, not enough gameplay. They showed off Hellblade cutscene, no actual gameplay, and no release date. They showed this game 3 times. This is the 3rd time that they showed this game off. Still no release date. But guess what? It's coming out in 2024. Come on, dog. Seriously? Are we seriously doing this right now? Playing
okay. Yeah, here's the thing. A lot of the games that they showed off, they actually did put on release dates for. If I remember correctly, Payday 3 finally got a release date. Thank fuck, because that game made me come. And I've said this before, I'm excited for Payday 3. Payday 3 is not a first-party game. But they were not really showing off a lot of the first-party stuff. There was a lot of their own stuff, but it was again a lot of third-party games, but the ones that they were working on, some of them did actually get release dates for, and Forza got a release date. It's oh, that's the only one that got a release date? No. Starfield also got a release date, and a lot of the other ones that were there that weren't exclusives did also get release dates. Again, like I said, Payday 3, which I am a ball's hair away from fucking pre-ordering that game. Because, god damn it, I want some of the cool stuff that comes with the $8, but I don't have the money. But that also because, I don't know if I should pre-order it or not. I'll think on it. But, not important. What is important is that there was release dates and there was things talked about in there, and a lot of it was really good. And it's oh, we have to wait another year for some of these games. I guess for some of the exclusives, maybe. But that's only because some of them we haven't seen, and some of them we have seen. It's oh, they've been working on Hellblade for, shown it 3 times. Yeah, obviously, if they've shown it 3 times, that means that they're working very hard on it. And I would say that they've been showing it off for, how many years have they been showing it off for? If it's only been, 2 years, give it another year. Jesus Christ. It takes a while to make these games. especially sequels to really good games. If you want to make it really fucking good, if you want to pump out sequels like Call of Duty or something like that, it wouldn't take too long. But whatever. Anyway.
Infinite waiting game. And no, they did not show off State of Decay 3. They didn't show Perfect Dark and a few other titles that they showed, but they did show Avowed, some actual gameplay in the trailer, which it basically looked like a downgrade from what we saw previously in that little split-second teaser trailer that they showed off 2 years.
A downgrade from a completely CGI trailer, mind you. Some people made this comparison on Twitter, and I talked about this before, but again, that was more of a concept piece, right? It wasn't in-engine footage. It was a fully CG trailer meant to sell you on the idea of what Avowed could look like. And I found out about this later, but guess what? That game was on the verge of cancellation at least 3 times. And because it was just so stupid because they couldn't pin down anything. It's like I don't know if it was on the verge of cancellation, but it's been restarted at least 3 times since we saw that first fucking trailer. So yes, it's going to look different. Yes, it's going to look a little bit downgraded because it was a fully fucking CG trailer that was made like with movie level CG stuff. Fuck off.
Prior, just looking at the gameplay and the teaser, it's pretty obvious that it's not using the full power of the X, and it has a very cartoonish art style to it, which Xbox has way too many games just like that. Sea of Thieves and Grounded, just to name a few. And they finally showed off Fable, which again, not actual gameplay, no release date, 2024. Come on. This whole press conference could have easily been summed up in less than 2 sentences, which is disappointment, CGI trailers, just wait another year. Just wait another year. And so we're stuck in the infinite loop of waiting for games to drop, and we don't even know the actual quality of these games. Think about it. We've been waiting for Crackdown 3. We've been waiting for Scalebound. We've also been waiting for Redfall and all these other games that have completely flopped. And I'm telling you this right now. I do not care for Starfield, and I'm calling it. Starfield is going to flop just like every other first-party title that Xbox has shown for the past, I don't even know, 8 years now.
Jesus H. Tap dancing Christ. Okay, if you don't care for Starfield, whoop do you fucking do? Like, a lot of people also do. A lot of people also say that as well. And again, if just tell me you're a Sony pony or a Sony fanboy without telling me you're a Sony fanboy. So whatever. Again, I haven't seen anything else from this guy, so I don't really care to look anything else up from him because this is just so disingenuous. They showed off a lot of good stuff, in my personal opinion. And everyone was like, "Oh, this game, this thing fucking buried the Sony showcase and stuff." But Starfield being a flop like every other Xbox game, I mean, it's Bethesda's game that they've been working on for years at this point. It was made before the acquisition, so just because now Microsoft owns it is going to flop? Like, what? Also, to go kind of back on what he was talking about before, with the whole like Fable and stuff, and we haven't seen anything from some of the other stuff that they were talking about. Like, maybe they don't have anything to show from them. Maybe they just are holding out until like another press conference or something like that. They might just have nothing significant to show because it might still be in that process of doing stuff. And the 3 examples that he gives is, we've been waiting for, I forget the first one, but the one that I really I'm stupid about is Scalebound. I'm fairly certain that game was canceled because it just did not bode well for the developers or something like that. Stupid point aside, Jesus, this is like saying I am out of clever right now. So give me a minute.
Every other first-party title that Xbox has shown for the past, I don't even know, 8 years now. And no, this is not me being, oh, you're just a PlayStation standboy. No, because I don't care about their games either. I think all their games suck outside of Spider-Man and a few other titles. Y'all only have Spider-Man for this year. So
I agree.
Don't sit here and be like, oh, you see, this is why PlayStation is better. You're not, okay? You have Spider-Man, and that is the only game that is carrying you for your entire year, possibly all of PlayStation, let's be honest. You bought the PS5 to play Spider-Man. You don't care about anything else. You didn't play Ratchet and Clank. You didn't play God of War Ragnarok. A lot of people didn't. So
Considering that fucking God of War essentially made a butt ton of fucking money before it even came to the PC, and that it was actually ported to the PC very quickly, goes to show you that you're wrong in that context. Where I will say that I will defend this in this context. Sony does make really good games, and it's like, oh, people are only there for Spider-Man. It's like, no, there's a lot of other games on there, including like multi-platform ones. And yeah, I will say that a lot of people did actually end up playing God of War and God of War Ragnarok. It would not have probably won Game of the Year or fucking been nominated. The sequel been nominated for Game of the Year, was nominated, didn't win, obviously. If it wasn't good and if people didn't fucking buy it. So I think that bit I don't agree with. The bit about, like, you only bought it for Spider-Man, no. That bit I don't agree with. I do agree with it. This year, they really only have Spider-Man carrying them. So, yeah. And again, if you look at Sony Twitter, yeah, there's really only some capping for that. Anyway, moving on.
stop the cap. You bought it to play Spider-Man, and that's it. And that's cool. But don't sit here and act like, you know, you have something better than everybody else. Because if you look at gaming as a whole, it is really, really bad. But that's a whole different story. We're back to Xbox and their complete dumpster fire of a showcase. I didn't even watch the Starfield event after because I'm like, bro, I don't care for this game. I already know it's gonna suck. Just like Fallout 76 did. Fallout 4 was a disappointment compared to New Vegas and 3. So I didn't care about that either. So it showed off a lot of games I didn't care for, and the games I do care for, I still have to wait a whole nother year. So not to mention they showed off the Persona 3 remake and the spin-off, which already been leaked 2 weeks prior, so we already knew that was going to happen. That comes out early next year, launching day and date on Game Pass. So that's good. But that's it. The whole show felt like an advertisement for Game Pass, which we don't need anymore, okay? We already know how great Game Pass is. We know it's the best deal in gaming, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we get it. We needed to see first-party titles. They needed to come out swinging, and they missed every turn. So my overall review on both press conferences, Sony sucked, and this one sucked just as worse, if not slightly worse. So tame your expectations with these game showcases, because 9 times out of 10, they're all pretty bad.
Wow. So he thinks that this one sucked just as much as the Sony one. Are you fucking kidding me? I will give you this revelation, my guy. At least Microsoft didn't show a movie trailer in the middle of their gaming showcase. I am not lying. I would say that Sony's sucked more because they showed a fucking movie trailer in the middle of their showcase. A movie trailer in the middle of a gaming showcase. Are you fucking me in the ass right now? How is that worse than showing off things like, I don't know, Starfield, or things like Forza, or things like actual fucking games, or Payday 3. Payday 3 alone was like, elevated this from a 8 to a, it elevated it from a 7 to an 8. Like, it jumped so much. And yeah, I know there's a third-party title and stuff like that, but I'm gonna harp on about it. Fuck yeah, Payday 3. Give me some more fucking Payday. Alright? I love that game. I had over like 200 hours in it. It's a fucking dope game. Especially if they're thinking about doing the same thing and giving them just the same amount of support for Payday 3 as they gave to Payday 2, and if they've made it with any amount of the love and care for that Payday 2 game, I am fucking here for that shit. Are you kidding me? It looks so fucking good. I'm gonna harp on about that until it releases. I'm gonna be honest, Chief. But not only that, again, Starfield, again, that alone had an entire direct that made me go from an 8 to a fucking 9. Like a 7 to an 8 or a 9 as well. It's like it elevated an entire extra point up as well. It is so stupid to me, right? It is so fucking stupid to me how you can say that it is somehow just as equally bad or worse than a gaming showcase where they showed a fucking movie trailer in it saying that that's just as bad. Oh my god. Whew! I am a little bit of city spaghetti now. But yeah, I think that this is one of the. There is a lot of salty fanboys and a lot of salty people out there, but I think that this one's the worst because this guy didn't see the direct for Starfield. Which, again, if you're not excited for that game, you're not excited for that game. I understand, but even taking the Starfield Direct out of the equation and just you putting it on like its own fucking thing, the showcase still blew Sony's out of the water, like 110%, because they announced games. And a lot of people were like, if this leak, and the leak kind of fucking broke the internet a little bit, where they say like, oh, we're gonna be releasing Persona 5 Tactica and Persona 3 Reloaded. They weren't supposed to do that because they deleted the fucking tweets really quickly when everyone screenshotted that shit. And they're like, holy shit, they're gonna actually reveal this shit. It's like, yeah, obviously. And then at the next time they did it, it's like, that was that was the highlight of that day, and it was still a fucking highlight, but they still somehow outdid that. Persona 3 and Persona Tactica. Like, how did they, like... I don't know how you can look at a trailer like that. I don't know how you can look at the 2 showcase and say that Sony did slightly better than that. Again, you're saying, oh, because you're a Sony boy. It's like, the stuff that they showed off, most of it was third-party anyway. You're talking about exclusively first-party games. Microsoft showed off more. They really did. In any case, I think that'll have to do it for this video. This one was another quick one. I'll probably release it on Saturday or something like that. In any case, my name is Ian21. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And a peace. Off.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Of wasting any time. I've got